El Nino is everywhere in the news right now, but the way people talk about it, you'd think it's something Michael Bay cooked up. The season of death and destruction. El Nino may eat the Blob. The Bruce Lee of El Nino. No, the Godzilla of El Ninos. Wow, that escalated quickly. Okay, let's all take a chill pill and see what this El Nino thing is really all about. El Nino is, of course, Spanish for the Nino. A few centuries ago, fishermen in Peru noticed every so often the water in the eastern Pacific would get warmer. It didn't happen every year, but when it did, it always happened close to Christmas. So they named the phenomenon for the Christ child, or El Nino. To understand how El Nino works, think of the Pacific Ocean like a giant bathtub. Thanks to Earth's rotation and the Coriolis effect, winds near the equator usually blow east to west. Just like when you blow across a cup of tea, that wind actually pushes the water, so much so that the sea level in Indonesia is usually a half-meter higher than in Peru. As that water near the surface, warmed by the sun, is forced west, it causes deep, cold water to rise in the east to replace it. That means warm over here and cold over here. If those east-west winds blow harder, warm water is pushed way west, and the eastern Pacific gets even colder. We call this La Nina. But if those east-west winds weaken, there's less cold upwelling, and that huge mass of warm water ends up sitting just off the coast of South America. That's El Nino. El Nino can hold a ton of energy. The 1997 El Nino moved 35 million billion joules of energy into the eastern Pacific, as much as 160,000 SAR bombas, 100 times the energy used by everyone on Earth in a year, 1/14 as much as the meteor impact that killed the dinosaurs. That's a lot, and when that energy gets transferred to the atmosphere where weather happens, it can have effects that reach around the world. The El Nino during the Northern Hemisphere winter of 97 and 98 was the strongest ever on record. Rain and mudslides in California and Peru killed dozens and left thousands homeless. Kenya's annual rainfall was 40 inches above normal. And on the other side of the Pacific, Indonesia had massive droughts. Temperatures in Mongolia hit 108 degrees Fahrenheit. And while El Nino usually means a quieter Atlantic hurricane season, it can mean more and stronger storms in the Pacific. In 1997, Hurricane Pauline dumped 27 inches of rain on western Mexico in a single day. With so much money and life at stake, it would be nice to be able to predict El Ninos, or is it Los Ninos? Well, and their effects far in advance. Will California finally get some rain? Will the Northeast get less snow? Well, we just don't know. For one thing, an El Nino event can show up anywhere from every 2 to 7 years, or sometimes not at all. It's less of a cycle and more of a periodic, sometimes quasi-cycle. Yes, that's a technical term.